As many of you know, about a month ago, I bought this 1997 Dodge Viper GTS, and then I haven't really driven it. I was on my giant Aston Martin road trip, and it was in the shop getting new tires and brakes and passing emissions and inspection. But now I'm back, and it's back, and it's time for me to take it for my first real drive. Now, if you follow along with me, I know what you're thinking. What do you mean you haven't driven it? I bought this thing and drove it 500 miles home. But that was different for two reasons. Number one, that was all on the highway. And when you're on the highway, you're just sort of cruising at 65 miles an hour, not really doing anything fun. And number two, most importantly, when I bought it, it had these old worn tires on it. So I was kind of intimidated by it. Now I've got new tires and I'm not intimidated anymore. Well, maybe a little. And if you want more of my thoughts on my first real drive with the Viper, as always, click the link below to check out my column on autotrader.com/oversteer. Now, it's time to drive. Now, I'm still a little nervous about this, I have to admit. I've heard so many things from so many people. I got new tires on it, it's dry, it's beautiful out. I'm still thinking, I gotta be pretty careful. First thing, the sound is not that amazing. Automakers now go to so much trouble piping all this exhaust in and making sure everybody can hear everything. It wasn't like that back then. It was like, here's what we got. If you don't like it, you can change it. We can't do any better than this. The handling is unusual. It's not like in a lot of cars. But you can feel the weight of the front end. Oh, you can feel the weight of the front end. The front end is incredibly long. Not a lot of people realize this, but when you sit in a Viper, you're actually basically sitting over the rear wheels. So you are behind 3/4 of the car. So there is a lot of stuff in front of you that has to turn when you turn the wheel, and you can feel every little bit of it. The car handles better than I think I was expecting it to. I think I was expecting it to be sort of all over the place. At stoplights, it just rumble. At Porsches, they don't do that. They just sit there, and you'd never know they were on. This thing, it's like a Harley. The sensation of speed in this car is really amazing. I'm not really going all that fast, but rumble over all the bumps, you just feel everything, and you hear everything. This is not like some modern car where there's an incredible amount of sound deadening. They've put all this thought into noise, vibration, harshness. Instead, this thing is like, yeah, here's a car, have fun. You're so connected to the road in this car. It's unlike any modern vehicle. Anybody who's had a modern Porsche or something like that would get in this car and think this is from the Stone Age. For better or worse, I kind of think it's cool. The brakes could be better, I have to admit. I got new brakes on it, and even still, they could be better. This car is not a Ferrari or a modern Porsche when it comes to braking. This car is sort of the link between the 70s and the 2010s. It's directly there in the middle, and the braking is not like it is in a modern car. The ride's harsh. I'm not gonna say the ride's not harsh. It kicks you around. You gotta be prepared for that. When I was on my road trip, a lot of people asked me, hey, why don't you do this trip in the Viper? And I was thinking to myself, I would never do this trip in the Viper. I'd rather die. I still am not in the world where I'm gonna push the pedal down when I'm turning. Right now, I'm still reserving my throttle floors for when I'm going dead straight. You know, Mustangs have gotten a lot of crap for people crashing them. Go online and look up Viper crashes. It is unbelievable how many Vipers have been put away. If you're driving one of these things and not paying attention, you should be in something else. This car is something you take out on a Sunday when you want to devote 100% of your energy at that moment to driving. The thing also about the Viper that kind of keeps you in check, in a car like the Aston, when you put your foot down, you don't hear that much until the engine really gets up there. In this thing, you immediately hear it. There's no trickery. There's no, you look down at your speedo and you're like, I can't believe I'm going 80. You know you're going 80. Everybody stares at you in this car. Everybody stares. This car attracts more attention than virtually any car that I've ever owned. It's, bright blue. It's got this shape. Everybody knows this shape. The novelty of this car absolutely has not worn off for me. Every time I see it in my parking garage, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Even if I'm driving something else. A lot of people just think most sports cars are the same, and they never really get, why do you want that sports car? You're just trying to show off. And it's like, no. Each car provides you a dramatically different driving experience. And this one really provides you a dramatically different driving experience. I have to admit, I was excited for this to be my first like fun, go have fun, go crazy drive. It still intimidates me. I still think about all of the crash photos and videos I've seen and all the people who told me to be careful. I think it's going to be a while before I'm not really feeling intimidated by this car. I wonder how long other Viper owners have gone. Aside from my long trip, this is my first tank of gas in this car, and I'm certainly not there yet. It's actually a lot of fun. I mean, I love the sound. I love how crashy and bumpy it is. I love how raw that it feels. I'm coming off a lot of cars that really didn't feel that raw. The Skyline, the Ferrari, the Aston, they were not neutered, but they were designed for a very specific person who wouldn't put up with all these noises and stuff. And this thing's different. It's a blast. It's a lot of fun. Well, that was a blast, and I'm really starting to enjoy this car. So much that I have a lot of really cool things planned for it in the upcoming weeks and months. And don't forget, the surprise mystery Doug car is still coming, and it's almost here. So get ready for a big surprise really soon. Because unlike in modern... Go, 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 go. God. There's nothing worse than people who try to race you and they're in Tuaregs. Just leave me alone, dude. I'm not gonna race. I'm not impressed that you're going 80 miles an hour. Go away.